further skill you are manufacturing, which you will soon export to other universities. Today, this university is celebrating a remarkable mentor. Professor Sokomba has shaped lives. Professor Sokomba has built futures. Professor Sokomba has transformed an entire generation, which I am fortunate to be one. You're welcome. Who confirmed to me personally and confided in me that the life of Professor Sokomba, the president of Satellite Science, to the students of pharmacy and graduates of pharmacy, the pharmacists on the platform, all members of Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Jos, ably led by the Jos University Pharmacy Alumni President, Pharmacist Matthew Okubo. Each graduate of pharmacy, each time we meet, we always remember one man. And that one man did not just teach, but that one man invested his entire life in us. And the fruits of his sacrifices are the achievements of all that we have today. A lot of us are professors on this high table. Your students on my table, we have Professor Bukata et al. And plenty of other professors. We also have DGs.
I'm afraid
of the university to know that the DG of nitrate.
Check the sun.
Thank you very much. Can we have another round of applause, please?
Except that maybe it's not right, but there's sun. The sun now. I think I use it like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me at this juncture, before I call the Dean for his remarks, recognize our keynote speaker for today. He's no other person but Professor Jonathan Ayuba.
No, that's why I told you that
he is a two-time commissioner
so when the video
in
is ready,
South State. He has served as commissioner for education
the video is already here.
and
Just
also
for
his present chairman of governance of the
you are said.
Thank you very much.
more
At this juncture,
than this.
I'll invite the Dean
People have like carry like
of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor Bukata Buka. A renowned pharmacologist
bring down
with bias for receptor mechanism. Please welcome Mr. Titsa. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Let me just turn on the existing protocol. And in spite of that, let me recognize very few important dignitaries. Starting from this, sir. You are welcome. The Honorable Commissioner for Health, President. We have the keynote address speaker, Professor Jonathan Aruba. We have the chief host, who is our father, an erudite scholar, a good academic administrator, the Vice Chancellor of this great university, University of Professor Danko Ishaya. Thank you, sir, for being present. We are also happy to have Vice Chancellor of Plateau State University, Professor Modest. As I stood up, you will notice that the organizers made me to sit in between the two vice chancellors. And I have been very, very uncomfortable. I have been thinking, I hope after the event I will not be summoned, because I have taken my seat behind. But the organizers insisted I should come forward. We also have the chairman of the LLC for this event, Professor N.M. Wanam, who has been very, very close to me, even during our days. He was appointed member of the committee. Sometimes early this year or last year, he gladly accepted the assignment. Shortly after that, he was appointed the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Education, Pashi. And I had thought that he would tell me, because of his current status and tight schedule of activities, he excused himself. When we discussed, he gladly accepted to continue the assignment. This is to show Professor has 40 for the faculty. So, thank you for that. Above all, the man we are here in his honor, Professor Sokomba, since at the inception of this lecture series has never failed to attend, in spite of his advance in age. He looks younger than his age actually, because he is very, very old. Some of us that are not close to that age are already behaving as if we are more than 8 years. So, sir, we are glad to have you. because of the importance of this event, I had declared that today is lecture-free day to permit staff and students fully participate in the event. And I hope the staff and students are present. Though I am a bit disappointed because our students alone can fill this hall. I don't know if other staff have engaged the students. And that will be a measure of what the authority has declared. So we are supposed to come in to participate fully. And past president is also supposed to have also mobilized the students. Because in pharmacy we call ourselves men of honor, and we are really men of honor indeed. So I urge all of us to sit, relax, and enjoy the event as it unfolds. We have an erudite professor that will give us the keynote address. So I wish each and every one of us the best of time. The faculty of pharmaceutical sciences, you may wish to know, has been growing for 5 years. I am among the first set of graduates of this great faculty, so I know much about the faculty. And because of the academic leadership of Professor Sokomba, we have been trying to build on that academic excellence. And that's why this lecture series was instituted in his honor. And for the faculty, we have been trying to maintain the status quo, the tempo, if not to improve upon it. So, sir, we have been trying to see how we can maintain your legacy. Because you did well for us, and we are trying to copy that. Because of your Sokomba did things that time and others. But as time goes on, for subsequent series, we will continue to unfold them. Thank you, and God bless each one of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Still on introductions, at this point I would use this time to acknowledge the presence of the management of the Federal University of Education Panshin, represented by the DVC admin, Professor Daulu, and the registrar, Mr. Longton Gado. Please, you're welcome. Like I told you earlier on, I am maybe I'm in a shrine that you know, for shrine is chief priest, and when not so I think I have reached a junction that I would say myself the next person to be introduced so that I don't get into trouble. Because by the time I do, I'm sure all the doors will be locked, I can't escape. So at this juncture, let me call my friend, Makaba, to do the next introduction. Thank you very much. By the time he does that, you'll understand what I mean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the person you want me to introduce is very media shy. He doesn't like publicity. Before I also want to recognize the sense of the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences of one of the newest public universities in Nigeria, that's the Federal University of Applied Sciences, and this Dr. Nengi. You are welcome. The person person that I've been asked to introduce to give his own remarks is not a stranger to so many of you. Today, this lecture is the 25th that we're having this year. And we checked the records. The inaugural lecture series of the University of Jos started in 1981. And the first lecture we had was by Professor Elizabeth Isiche, the pioneer head of the Department of History. So we checked the records and we discovered that it was during Professor Mafuye's tenure that we had the highest number of inaugural lectures in a year, which is 25. Professor called. This lecture is the 25th that is being held in the year 2026. Next month alone, we're going to have 4 inaugural lectures. In September, he has approved 3 inaugural lectures. So before his tenure ends, you can imagine the records that he has already set, even in this regard. Once again, let's give a round of applause to Professor Tanko Ishaya as he comes forward to give us his remarks. Let's keep clapping as he comes, please.
Thank you very much. MC, because this is not a shrine, I can make an address. Let me start the protocol that has already been established. Let me recognize my colleagues, the 2 vice chancellors that are here with us. I know that Professor Wane is here not because he's a vice chancellor, but because he's coming to honor his mentor. But Professor Best, I was wondering what social science has to do with pharmacy. For you to come and attend this lecture. But of course, that is the beauty of academia. There's no single entity that stands alone. And one of the things that we need to imbibe, obviously, is that we can do this most. But I believe to the table, so you're welcome. The Honorable, I almost said Honorable Minister, by the grace of God, Niger is Nigeria. Niger is Nigeria. And we are hoping that we have had quite a number of leaders from Niger in Nigeria. You can begin to count the number of presidents that we have had from Niger alone. The Babangidas, the Abdusalam, and so on and so forth. The Azikiwe and so on. So maybe you'll be one of them. When you get there, remember us. Our professor, our father, our mentor, Professor Sokomba, for whom the reason we are here today. I want to most sincerely welcome you on behalf of the entire university community. Coincidentally, this lecture series started after I was appointed as the Vice Chancellor. So I can proudly say that this lecture series is part of my achievement as the Vice Chancellor. Today we are witnessing the 4th of its time after 4 years. And I'm privileged today to meet Professor Sokomba in person. Because last 2 lectures I was supposed to attend. I had to leave and someone else to attend on my behalf. One of the DVCs had to attend on my behalf. But you know, each time, I'm sure I'm not the only person, but people just confirm that. Each time we hear the Professor Elijah Sokomba's lecture, annual lecture, personally I thought he was somebody from Sierra Leone, because that is where you have the name Sokomba and so on and so forth. So I thought it's someone coming from Sierra Leone. And another thing is that I thought, even though it still is, but by the grace of God, I thought he was, a very old man that would be difficult for him to walk, and so on and so forth. But by the God and we thank you most sincerely. I'm honored today, and it is a privilege that I attend part of this lecture series. Because coincidentally, we have a council meeting today.
Which one, this one?
But somehow, because the chairman of council is not yet on ground, that is one of the reasons why we are privileged to attend. And in fact, immediately after these remarks, some of us will have to take an excuse to leave because of that meeting of council. We thank you so much. But when I met you this morning, before coming here, I think it was my senior brother. The other guy from Sierra Leone, and then I discovered it's my senior brother from Niger and from Zulu. We share a lot of commonalities. Actually, Zulu and Sokoto as a whole used to be within the Niger province. When they created Sokoto, they made a mistake and cut Zulu out of that and put Zulu part of Sokoto. But ideally, it's supposed to be part of Niger. And even as we speak, between Magajia and Zulu, you don't really differentiate. And as you're moving into Zulu from Magajia, the people are the same language. The home and decided that we are going to mentor this great in this great area. I was in the US actually some time ago, I think about 2 years ago, and I met one of the most successful pharmacists in Kenya, who has a pharmaceutical industry even in the US. So we we've had quite a number of people who have been trained, because you traditional medicine and so on and so forth. Everybody, gets that mentorship and everybody benefits from that leadership. So I thank you all, and I thank the faculty, the dean, and the faculty staff for really thinking about this initiative. I want to call on other faculties actually, to emulate what you have done. What you have done is a very great initiative. I'm not going to appreciate the organizing committee, to the chairman, there was really calling to make sure that it was here. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank the guest for help in Niger State. We learned you are doing something there. You are transforming the health sector. And you know that our main hospital from Zulu is the Tungamagaja hospital. So don't forget that Tungamagaja. You see, that's very good. It's right. That was where the missionaries, actually started providing a lot of medical and health care. And it continues to be, one of the hospitals that everybody is actually proud of. So, then once again, welcome all of you, particularly recognize the management of the education. Thank you for coming, and thank everyone here that has come to really help the university and the faculty to honor this gentleman, to honor this father, to honor this researcher, to honor this mentor. As we continue our lectures, I wish us a very successful lecture series, and a lecture series that we never forget, that will impact not onto our individual lives, but onto the society, Nigeria and the society of large. Thank you once again. You're welcome. God bless you.
I'm not sure I heard a clap that sounded like one. Still on, we need to also acknowledge the presence of members of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Plateau State. Thank you very much. At this point, I will invite Dr. Olanike Boyi to introduce the next personality. Thank you.
Good morning. Dr. Murtala Bagana is Commissioner of Health in Niger State, a distinguished public health leader and development expert. With an extensive background in strategic health management, he previously served as special advisor in special duties to Governor Mohammed Moribago and senior technical advisor at the NPHCDA, where he played a pivotal role in Nigeria's historic certification as wild poliovirus-free and interruption of COVID-19 disease outbreak. An alumnus of Ahmadu Bello University, Harvard, Tulane, Bandes International Business School, Dr. I would like you to welcome the Chairman of Education, for his remarks, Dr. Murtala Mohammed Bana.
Good afternoon, everyone. You guys, please now share your link. To my Vice Chancellors left with the Vice Chancellor of University of Jos, pleases God. So it's a very unique name from a unique family all the way from Niger State.
Don't go too far again. Connected by Wi-Fi, so when you
It is a great
disconnect.
institution, and every institution for that matter has a story. Some are told through buildings, others are through policies, but the enduring are those through of men and women whose vision outlives their tenure. That is the story of Professor Elijah. Today, the University of Jos is celebrating the power of institutional leadership. It is the acknowledgement that enduring universities are built not only by infrastructure and funding, but by scholars whose ideas become traditions, standards become culture, whose mentorship produces generations for all years. Professor Elijah and I am sure somebody has a very special celebration for him. But I'm taking time to do this because this is a collective message from Niger State. Professor Elijah and Sokomba belongs to that rare class of institution builders. His name is woven into the foundation of this faculty. the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and its influence continues to resonate across pharmacy education, professional regulation, research and public health in Nigeria and abroad. Like the PC mentioned, you met someone who finished from University of Jos Pharmaceutical Science Department and is doing well in the United States. It is therefore both for me, for the government and of United States to join this distinguished gathering in celebrating one of our finest sons. Professor Elijah Ndajia annual lecture has become one of those defining moments for the University of Jos. What began as a tribute to a founding dean has evolved into one of the Nigeria's foremost intellectual gatherings on pharmacy, leadership, education, and health system. The progression of today's theme, pharmaceutical regulation, resilient medicine, supply systems, and industrial development, the past and inspiring the future. It demonstrates that this is no longer merely a memorial lecture. It is a national platform for shaping conversations that matters to the future of healthcare in Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students, as a proud son of Niger State, Professor Sokomba represents something much larger than personal achievements that we are all eulogizing today. He represents the quiet excellence that has always existed within Niger State, that quietly made it one of the Nigeria's most important centers of pharmaceutical leadership. And I'm going to go through them. First, as what I have shared. For example, long before and became a national conversation, Niger State became the first state in Nigeria to recognize and implement the consultancy cadre for pharmacists. If you are a student of pharmacy, this is one history that you shouldn't forget. Acknowledging the advanced competencies of specialists trained through the West African College of Pharmacists. That decision elevated professional practice and affirmed that pharmacists as a clinical expert and an essential partner in patient care. Second, and equally conventional medicine dispensed more that was previously practiced to a standard pharmacy-driven pharmaceutical care system, placing patients, not medicine, at the center of pharmacy practice. Today, that philosophy defines modern pharmacy across the world. Niger State embraced it early enough because it understood that healthcare outcomes improve when pharmacists are fully integrated in clinical decision making, and it was not possible without somebody like Professor Sokomba. That would not have been possible. Furthermore, Niger State has produced pharmacists who have served as commissioners for health. The pharmacists, Niger State has produced a state governor who is a pharmacist, Dr. Sokomba. Niger State has produced a senator who is a pharmacist. And I can go on and on and on. Permanent secretaries, nationally respected pharmaceutical entrepreneur whose contribution transcend our borders. All this were possible because it pleases God, just like his name. Today, another distinguished son of Niger State, Pharmacist Baba Shehu Ahmed, who served as the registrar of the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, the same institution that produced Professor Sokomba, once chair, also a bona fide son of Nigeria. And all this would have been possible without Prof. It is a legacy we celebrate today, not merely out of pride as Nigerians, but because it demonstrates that what becomes possible when institutions deliberately invest in people, nurture excellence, and sustain a culture of visionary leadership. The hall is still not full. Students, I'm still waiting. It is the same philosophy that underpins the health sector transformation currently being pursued in Niger State. Under the leadership of His Excellency, the former governor of Niger State, the new Niger Health Agenda is defined is enshrined through a strategic investment in human capital and deliberate positioning of Niger State as a national leader in health innovation. Recognizing that sustainable health systems are built on knowledge, professional excellence, and strong institutions, the government of Niger State has adopted a deliberate strategy of engaging some of the country's finest men and women, finest minds, to provide strategic leadership in the health sector. It was within this context, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that the Niger State government created a very important advisory committee, the Niger State Health Advisory Committee, established as the state apex clinical advice body to guide health reforms, and His Excellency Mohammed Umar appointed no other person but Professor Elijah Ndajia Sokomba as the pioneer chairman of this very noble advisory body. It is a deliberate recognition that the future of healthcare will be shaped not only by hospitals and infrastructure, but by the quality of the professionals, scientists, and institutions that drive innovation. This is also reflected in the in-depth research and evidence-based practice in our institutions. In many respects, this investment reflects the very idea that Professor Sokomba that excellence in pharmaceutical education is one of the foundations upon which resilient health systems are built. These reforms are not emerging in isolation. They are building upon which long-standing tradition has positioned Niger State as one of Nigeria's foremost center of pharmaceutical leadership. I know the VC is not here, but he will be very pleased to hear this. This commitment to strengthening pharmaceutical education and professional practice is particularly significant because the world is entering a new era of healthcare. Artificial intelligence is accelerating. Just earlier, how we can change the pipeline of drug design and manufacturing, and artificial intelligence is a very strong pillar that transforms clinical decision making, precision medicine. Antimicrobial resistance will continue to be a threat if we don't apply technology realities that we face now are challenging, but also an opportunity. We must move beyond just predominantly being a consumer of pharmaceutical innovations to becoming active contributors to research, medicine development, manufacturing, and regulatory excellence. Achieving this ambition in universities that produce globally competitive graduates like you in this hall. Industries that translate research into accessible products, government that provide enabling policies, professional regulatory institutions that uphold the highest standard of quality and ethics. No single institution can accomplish this alone. It therefore demands purposeful collaboration among academia, government, regulators, development partners, and most importantly, the private sector. The very partnership represented in this distinguished gathering today, it is also why Professor Ndaya Sokomba's legacy remains relevant. Throughout his remarkable career, he demonstrated that excellence in pharmacy cannot exist in isolation. It must seamlessly connect education with regulation, research with policy, innovation with patient care, and scientific knowledge with national development. So as we honor Prof today, we are reminded that the greatest legacy any scholar can leave is not merely the knowledge they impart, but the institutions they build, the leaders they inspire, and the value they embed within the profession. That is the enduring lessons of physics, aspiration that we all hold early in Niger State, the Niger agenda. As we celebrate Prof, please permit me to truly celebrate an icon, an idea that institutions are built by people of vision, sustained by people of character, transformed by people who chose service above self. His life reminds us that the true greatness is measured neither by the offices we occupy nor by the honors we receive, but by the standard we establish, the institutions we strengthen, and the people we inspire to rise beyond us. The greatest tribute we can bear for faith and suffering for the rest of his life lies in our lengthy stronger regulatory institutions, stronger pharmaceutical industries, stronger health system that responds to the need of our people. It lies in the producing graduates who will not merely seek employment, but who will discover new medicines, make regulatory reforms, strengthen local manufacturing, shape policy, and advance scientific knowledge for the benefit of humanity. If every generation leaves the profession stronger than it found it, then Professor Elijah Ndaya Sokomba's legacy will continue to multiply beyond this auditorium. As government, we remain steadfast in our commitment to create a environment for vision that will flourish the human agenda by investing in institutions, strengthening professional capacity, and promoting research and innovation. We believe that the future of healthcare belongs to societies that invest in knowledge, reward excellence, and nurture visionary leadership. That is the future we are deliberately building in Niger State. Prof, behalf of the government and the people of Niger State, I express our profound gratitude for a life dedicated to scholarship, mentorship, public service, and nation building. Your contributions have shaped a faculty, strengthened a profession, guide national institutions, and inspire leaders, including those in this room today. History will remember you not simply as the founding dean of this great faculty, but one of the architects of the modern pharmacy education and professional leadership in Nigeria and the entire West African sub-region. If this gathering inspires even one scholar to pursue excellence with the same discipline, humility, sense of purpose that have defined Professor Sokomba's remarkable journey, then today's celebration will have achieved something far greater than resembles all the aspirations together to have cured the fraud we all aspire. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the honor of addressing this very important gathering. God bless the University of Jos. God bless the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences. God bless the pharmacy profession. God bless Niger State. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Please keep clapping till he takes his seat. Thank you very much. For this segment of this program, to acknowledge the presence all the way from Bombay State University, Dr. Emmanuel Agada David, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, HOD Clinical Commercial. So you're welcome. We also have in our midst former DBC academics and also a pharmacist in his own right, Professor Nelson Achope. We also have here former Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Society, University of Jos, Professor Ikoni Ogachi. We have the Jos University Teaching Hospital, representing the HOD Pharmacy Department, pharmacist Isaac Uteno. I hope I got it right. Also with us here is another, once a VC, always a VC. So this is like, the count continues. This is what we'll say the fourth VC here. The former VC of former Benue State University, now Father Moses Adasu University Makodi, Professor Ta Rapo, also a product of the university. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point we would have a brief interlude by the Theatre and Film Arts students, University of Jos. Students, interlude, the stage. Oh, you have carried this. Oh, thank you.
So I need someone to take a podium back and they are gone. The health department of theatre and film arts for availing the services of the students at very short notice. We really appreciate that. We also want to thank the former Vice Chancellor of the Moses and Asu University, who also chipped in the work and allowed the students to come and give us this very brief entertainment. We don't take that for granted. The next item on the program is a very special one, and I will kindly request Mr. Sam Melaji, to come and handle it. He will be giving us a citation of a very illustrious alumnus, the guest speaker for this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madu. The chairman of the occasion, members and management of Federal University of Education, Panchi, distinguished guests, and particularly permit me to, worthy of note, say the Vice Chancellor of Plateau State University, other professors, deans, have seen directors from different walks of life in attendance. Very good afternoon to you all. Standing before you is none other than Professor Jonathan M. Ayuba, who studied history in this same university, went to the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. Professor Ayuba has over 20 years of teaching experience in Nigeria and has published numerous books, articles in international and local journals. Some of his notable publications are seen in the Umbase, An Invention of Tradition, New York 2014, Boko Haram and the Jihadi Tradition in Northern Nigeria, Berlin 2016, among others. He was Honorable Commissioner in the Ministry of Education and also the Ministry of Science and Technology in Nasarawa State from 2017. Distinguished guest was graduate studies of the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, from the year 2019 to 2023. He is currently the chairman of the Governing Council of the Federal Polytechnic Auchi in Auchi, Edo State, among several other administrative appointments within and outside Nigeria. Distinguished guests, for want of time, permit me to briefly state that standing before you is a distinguished scholar, an administrator, a man of his people, a professional, and one who has handled his duties with dedication and with discipline. I invite you all with a 1,000 round of applause to join me celebrate this distinguished scholar who will be giving the guest lecture this afternoon. A round of applause for our guests.
chairman of this great occasion, may I seek your indulgence, please, to permit me to align myself with the protocol that has already been established so that I can proceed to why I'm here. It is the first time, I think, strangely enough, for an Indian to come into the because I was informed the previous ones were done by those that you people are familiar with. And for the first time, this is so strange that a professor of history will come to an association of pharmaceutical sciences to speak about something that he doesn't have any knowledge about. But I will explain that to you. To the organizers, I think the greatest mistake you made was to make Professor Wanan the chairman of this very occasion. Because the way I received the invitation was strange. And I told him that it might be difficult. Okay, goodwill message, that's fine, because that's my thinking. I was thinking it's just a goodwill message. I'll just write, scribble half a paragraph and send, because I told him the whole of July is a bit tight because my son was supposed to have graduated last week, in which I'll be out of the country, I'll be in Liverpool. And then the most important one, my mother-in-law is celebrating her 80th birthday on Saturday. So I won't be around, but we'll sort it out. It was only last week that a friend sent me the flyer that I will be the keynote address in this event. It's like, yes, that's properly Prof. and it clearly shows who he is. But importantly, I accepted to come back to Nigeria on Sunday specifically for this and in honor of the person we are celebrating today for two reasons. The first reason, last week, it dawned on me that I have to start to reflect. Some of us that have gone beyond the bar in the academia and we're about exiting, what will our students, what will our departments, what will the faculty and the university say of us? What is the legacy that we're going to behind to our children and the next generation? I know the mentor because for over 30 years, but I've never met him until yesterday. A mentor because my relationship with Professor Wanan has taken us far back university days and we're still friends. And one thing he says whenever we meet is, my mentor, my mentor. And we never even ask him, who is that your mentor? But whenever he says to him, whenever he advises him, he comes back to us. And amongst our friends, we decided to call him Oracle Mentor. So whenever Wanan comes, we say, what is the Oracle today? And to us, his influence as a mentor also touched us without necessarily having a direct contact, but Professor Wanan is the in-between because he discussed personal issues with him. This has continued as a mentor even after he has retired from the university. And to me, yesterday, when we met in just 2 minutes, it summarizes the essence that we were here. Because I was at the dean's office when he came. All discussions about academics, about health of his students, about everything was discussed within 5 minutes. For him is to know what are doing. On our way down the stairs, he noticed a signboard and then made a correction. I was just following him quietly. And as such, as a mentor, even after retirement, he has continued to mentor most people that you see today on this side of the hall. And that quickly reminded me of a political statement some years ago when an African head of state was asked, why was he seeking re-election at the age of 90? And his response was that in Africa, we don't retire. You continue to work. When you die, you continue as an answer. Even after retirement, has continued to mentor us. And today, I dare say, he is an intellectual ancestor. We have graduated him from the Oracle mentor to an intellectual ancestor. As I've already said, Mr. Chairman, I have been asked to speak on a topic in which I will want to make an adjustment. Because honoring the past to inspire the future, I think we need to appreciate the present in order to understand the past. What we have achieved, how we came to be. We cannot just inspire without looking at the present situation that we are in. The past is kind enough to give us lessons. The present is kind enough to give us opportunities. The future is kind enough to give us both the lessons and the opportunities. The position we are in now from the humble beginning, the pharmaceutical sciences has 7 departments from the one you started. Pharmaceutical sciences produce hundreds of professors, vice chancellors, as we are told, ministers, and a lot of others. It is because of a foundation. It's because of what you have done. And we are here today to appreciate such sacrifice. The success did not just happen overnight. You left your comfort zone in Zaria, despite the law of the house opposing, despite the discouragement, because you know our wives are the law in the house. Let me tell you why I'm going to somewhere that, as we know, was a terrible one. Moving from one university to the other, no university wants to accept the faculty, and no accreditation because there was no indigenous dean of the faculty. Despite the uncertainties, you decided to come. And as one of the founding fathers, we refer to you as the pilgrim fathers of the pharmaceutical sciences of the Faculty of Pharmacy in this great university. And as then, we were, as I refer in my paper, as a pharmaceutical Puritan, because we set sail without knowing, although we drink to make difference. Your intelligence, but your personal resources to ensure that accreditation was gotten for the pharmacy faculty. And because of that sacrifice, that is why most people are here to celebrate you. But the fundamental question is, all these years, what makes you stand tall? There is a Hausa saying, "Komai kyan tafarnuwa ba daidai da albasa ba." Maka fine garlic is the same as onion. Although they are from the same generic family, but their chemical components and texture are the same. You stood tall because of the sacrifice for this university, for these people, and for all of us that benefited from your mentorship. And that is why today, the vibrant departments and faculty staff of the pharmaceutical sciences we have are as a result of the strong foundation that was led by you. In construction, a good foundation is often as a sign that the house is built to last, which is in consideration for potential use. It takes time, patience, resources, build a durable foundation. You took a leap of faith from your comfort zone in ABU against family wishes and discouragement by colleagues and sailed to unknown territory. The Oracle mentor has invested his time and his resources, and that is the history of how the solid foundation of this faculty it is today. So we say thank you. And in thanking you, it's not enough. As somebody that has also invested I personally will request that the Dean of Faculty should write to the Vice Chancellor. We are going to start to give award to the best graduating students of pharmaceutical sciences in honor and in the name of Professor Elijah. We will start maybe the prize, a minimum of 100,000. But today I will make a personal commitment that I will give 1 million to cover for the next 10 years. And I will retain these details which we are going to place at each competition. There will be a prize for the best graduating student in his honor and in his name. I love to have spoken this directly to the Vice Chancellor, but also you can convey this to the Vice Chancellor that we want a structure or even a road or even the faculty building to be named after our mentor. Because thanking him and thanking him is not enough. We have to go beyond just the say thank you to demonstrate that we really benefited from his sacrifice and for everything that he has done for this institution. And organizers of this great gathering also feel that we should make an agenda. We should add it to the Founders' Day so that we can have that history of the founders and then we know who our father, so that it can continue for the next hundreds of years, that when people come, they know who the founders are, who have contributed to this very institution. So I will urge you to also do that. But there is a particular one, although I'll come to it, but let me say just a few things about the mentorship that we have enjoyed from our father. I don't know if he will remember, but I will bring it up today because I asked Wana to either say it or I will declare it. Because to be a mentor and to be a father, and for us in the future, if we want to be like our mentor, what are these ingredients that it's needed? So what are the lessons that we should learn? Firstly, before the brilliance, you can't give what you don't have. So we don't question his academic credentials and his capacity as a professor. But one thing you must have is patience. And to some of us, we pray for strength because sometimes you have a combination of students that you want to strangle to death. But he has a patience. And the reflection patience you can see is if you can graduate somebody like Professor Wana, which is on the extreme because we call him a student with special needs. And then you can handle Professor Booker, who is on the other extreme end of being gentle, being serious, and being academic minded. Then you need all the patience in this world to be able to manage that. Sir, if you remember, there was this professor of botany that in the whole of this university, everybody thought he was a bit mad. He's very unstable. He has never, ever visited pharmaceutical sciences. The fact that he has never set foot. He suddenly came. Remember, you were so concerned but worried, then you call one into your office because this is what we do after the meeting of what the oracle said. And then we jokingly asked him, what is this guy looking for you today? And your remark was, when I am my and he didn't know what the professor was talking about, and then he said, my people know who their friends are. So, for somebody unstable to come and look for one, there must be a problem. And that is why, because now we find very annoying because of who he is. But if you have somebody that will be able to handle Booker, who is a good student, and Wanan, who, as I said, I don't know, special needs students, and then produce one of the finest pharmacists in Nigeria and currently a vice chancellor,
is a testament that one of the characters that we should have one of the testament of the character we should have to learn from you is patience. Because in this job, you have students with different behaviors, different academic achievements, differences. But because somebody that knows you, you are not that assuming. You are just soft-spoken person. But you've been able to manage that, and to me personally, I remain grateful for what you have done, because you didn't do that just for the university, you've done it for us because Wana is a serious problem to us. One thing that we should learn from you is integrity. Because you did not only have a dream to make a change, but you had the courage. For the younger ones, if you have a dream, you must believe in that dream. And you must have the courage to pursue. So you had a dream, you've pursued the dream. Despite the setbacks, despite the challenges, you remained focused, and today we are happy for the position that we are in because of the sacrifices you've made. You will have chosen the easiest option like us, because that's what I told you last week. I was reflecting, and it dawned on me that I fell below the bar, because to us, we look at our senior colleagues and the way the system and the country has treated them, the sacrifices they have done that is not well recognized. And then to some of us, we think we can have a better future either abroad in other things. I'm committed to mental change in the university. Your integrity says a lot of volume. Your sacrifices also to us means a lot. He has empathy, which for the future scholars to learn. Because if you have empathy, you have the trust of your students. And that mentorship did not just continue when he started early. So I will also remind you of an incident. When Professor Wanan was a young lecturer in Kano, and during the terrible crisis in Kano, you were not earning that much money, and it was something interests are good. We will look at handling charges.
That is one. For the emotional trauma and the emotional damage he has caused, he may have caused, I will come to that. And then the committee reported back that Wana should be sending credit in the next 1 year that it is worth 250,000 minimum. He knows where to send it to. Because to us, people have called and said, oh, I hope you are okay, and that is it. But consistently, he will send them recharge card and also call to find out, have you spoken to anybody? Are you okay? To us, that is the father that you wish to have. Registrar, Federal University of Education, Kanshi, at your next management meeting, convey a letter to the Vice Chancellor and copy to the bursar that in the next 12 months, the minimum of credit to be deducted from his salary to be sent to our mentor, and I will guarantee that one. When we come back this year, we are going to confirm if that is done. Now, secondly, how do we reward such sacrifice that he has done? It's not enough. A graduate of pharmacy, but he touched me through my friend. And I want to take it. Sir, I'm very sorry I didn't seek your consent. I can be more stubborn than Professor Noel, so I did ask you. But this is what I want to do. I will speak with your students, because one thing I want for him is I want him to come back to Jos. I want his students to relocate him back to Jos. We don't want you to stay in Abuja. That we will sit, and as students we must build a house for Elijah in Jos. To all his students, what I will do is I will give you 1 million naira so that you can start organizing that. We'll look for a land and you will update me so that when we come here next year, we should report back, this is the progress, or we have done, or this is the percentage, and I'll also look for my friends to be able to see what we can do in this process. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're here to honor our father that has always been there for us, a father figure that all of us would have loved to have. I want to leave you with this to reflect. Approach your work with a sense of gratitude, and let your work ethic be a reflection of appreciation you have for the opportunities to contribute and grow. Be the reason someone smiles, be the reason someone feels loved and believes in people. I thank you all for
listening. Please, can we give him a standing ovation?
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, to our last speaker. Thank you very much. I do want, at this point, to invite the Commissioner for Health, I just step forward.
So, Iowa is trying to start out something in Nigeria. Take it back, Prof. When we're already planning something, and I'm willing to tell His Excellency what we will do back in Nigeria. But on a serious note, I don't want to be emotional, but whatever that committee is planning to do, I want on my own personal capacity to add 1 million naira to that. I'm absolutely confident that without any shadow of doubt that whatever committee that is set up, I also have people back in ABU's area who also have, I will also link up with them to do something befitting for him. That National Commissioner for Health.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. You see, for some of us that, just like our guest speaker had spoken, many of us are on the other side of the campus, that's in the Faculty of Arts. We have friends like Professor Anan. You'd always say, Professor Sokomba. That's why I said it was a pleasure seeing you face to face today. Because I've heard the name hundreds and hundreds of times from my friend Professor Anan. And just in the course of this arrangement, we're chatting with him. You know, you find Wana awake 2 a.m., 4 a.m. I cannot say what and because of our chat, I can say, hi, no. You're leaving Panshi to come for this. This is what he said. He said, James, Sokomba is our godfather. He sacrificed for the faculty. He made us what we are today. These are the Nigerians in our Prof. And indeed, I have confirmed this today for all the things I have heard. Please, if I clap alone, me for him, you will listen. Can you please join me to clap for him? Thank you very much, sir. At this point,
you will notice that me and James were a bit sober. It is difficult for you not to be sober under this atmosphere. I was just sharing with James, and I said, what we are witnessing this afternoon is the power of a name, what a name can do. And I wanted to share this. I was once arrested as a juvenile, and Professor Wonan doesn't have much to do with it. I've known him for a long time, so you are not part of this. When you met me, you know, he asked if you begin describing him, so you were arrested at the A division, and he asked us to should say our names. So we gave our names, I mentioned my name. Immediately I said Madugu. An old policeman shouted. He said, Madugu? I said, yes. Then he came out. I said, which Madugu? And it happened to with my father. So I told him, he said, no. He said, it's not possible for you to be that man's son. He said, I cannot associate you with the name, with that man. It's not possible for you that is here in the police station for night lottery to be that man's son. I witnessed the negative side of a name. Fast forward that 10 years after, I was teaching in the village. A missionary doctor came to where I was teaching, and he was looking for an English teacher to help him write a speech. And he called me, I wrote the speech. He went, I don't know this. Then he came back and said, sorry, I was sorry, I didn't want to ask your name. Madugu? I said, yes, sir. Which Madugu? I told him. This man knelt down and raised his hand and said, God, you have answered my prayer. I have been looking for a descendant of this man to repay for what he did for me and my wife. To cut the long solution, this man gave me a car because I don't know what my father did to him. I don't know what my father did to him and his wife, but he gave me a car and said, I have not even paid your father, even if it is half of what he has done. So what we are witnesses are, we thank God for your name, and we believe that your name will continue to inspire and inspire and inspire. When the guest speaker was speaking, I kept on asking myself, I said, how can I be part of what he is saying? And by faith, I mean faith. I don't have money, sir. Guest speaker, but I want to because I know if I do it, I'll bless. Thank you very much. Quickly, we will invite Dr. Ojende Olalekan. Yes. Okay, sorry. Professor Taiwo Alemika will handle the next session, which is very, very important. That's the scientific session. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Chairperson, and our father is doing honor today. It's a pleasure to anchor this aspect of the program. Can be in maybe a conference or workshop, but we are going to abridge it. I know we have people of different walks of life here, and so right from here, we'll have 3 paper presentations. But I want to speak first to